Hello everybody, so today we're going to be doing a packing for state fair / regular barn vlog. So the first thing I had to do was sort out and get all her feed in these little bags. So this is way easier than just bringing bags of grain and then using the bag of grain and feed scoops every single day, because we had about 3/4 of a bag of each of her grain right now. And by the time I was done with this, her main bag, which she gets 3/4 of morning and night, had maybe about a quarter-ish left. And her alfalfa bag had a little bit less than 3/4 left. So we would have been bringing way more grain than we needed. So it just doesn't make sense. And this is just so much easier to deal with. But yeah, so I'm just putting them all into bags, and in the morning she gets 2 thingies of joint supplement from SmartPak. She doesn't have any joint issues, but it's just better to put her on a joint supplement. She does have hawk arthritis, but she does not show it in the way she moves. We just know about it from x-rays, but she doesn't show it. So we just keep her on a joint supplement for preventative measures. But I was just putting it in the bag, and my mom was sweeping out our tack trunk, because we're going to take that with us. She was sweeping out our tack trunk and packing it for me, which was so nice. It's just when we both do things at one time, it gets things done way faster. And since it's so humid in the summer, we try to spend as little time in the barn as we possibly can, because it's so humid. And yeah, and then I'm just going to take all the grain bags over to buy the tack trunk. I would help her pack the tack trunk, but my mom has OCD, and if I tried to do it, I'd probably mess things up. I'm a very organizational person, but there's no getting in the way of my mom's organizing. I love my mom, but trying to help her organize things, that doesn't end well. So I usually just stay out of the way. But so yeah, I'm just taking those over to her, and then Mo was like, "What in the world are you doing? Why are you putting a giant pile of food outside my stall?" They had already been fed, but she was very curious about the giant pile of food that I was making in front of her stall. All the horses in the barn were very curious what I was doing with a bunch of feed. And then I thought I'd talk about our trailer. So it is a Shadow 2-horse straight load with a front ramp and a back ramp. So we wanted the straight load for Buster, because he will not load in and out of a slant load, and he has to have the back ramp, because obviously we just like the back ramp. It's way easier on the horses. And then the front ramp, Buster will not get off a trailer without the front ramp. He does not back off a trailer. So it just made the most sense. Now, we've only had this trailer a couple years. Anytime my mom needed to trailer him anywhere to move barns or anything, she never took him to shows or clinics or anything like that. The only time she ever trailered him before we started showing him is just to move barns. So she would always use the barn owner's trailer or a friend's trailer and have them take him. But then I had to clean my show bridle. This thing has not been cleaned in a hot minute, and it was disgusting. But we got this new cleaner, and I really liked it. So I was so happy with this new cleaner that we got. It worked extremely well, and I was so happy with it. And I just used a rag. And then here I am. So we had to get her leather halter and stuff out of the trailer. And I was looking for this black lead rope, because I know we had it in the trailer. I'm just like, where in the world was it? Our trailer, we have a lot of organizer things. Everything that's in our trailer is in one of these organizer things, but it's impossible to find literally anything in our trailer. But we're just pack rats. It's fine. But I found the lead rope, and so we're gonna put that on her purple and teal halter with her name on it, because I don't have a lead rope for that, and that's the only reason I just don't use it sometimes, is because her blue halter has a lead rope on it, but her purple and teal one doesn't. So that's the only reason I would ever use the blue one over it. And her blue one's her turnout halter, because I don't want her purple and teal halter getting sun faded. I don't really care if the blue one gets sun faded. But then I also had to clean her leather halter, because we use this on Xander, we use this on Millie, and now we've used it on Mo. This is the first time it's ever been cleaned. Oops. But I just gave it the cleaning of a lifetime. I don't think there's any saving this thing. It doesn't fit her. We should probably get her a new one, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't it's not crazily too big. It's just slightly too big. So, it's fine. And then here's just me, because I popped on her for a little bareback ride, because I forgot my boots to ride English, and then I didn't have my spurs to ride Western. And she'd probably be fine if I didn't have my spurs to ride Western. She's just very more spur trained. She would be much better to ride without spurs for English than Western. It's just, I can't control her training. It's just how she responds better. I hardly actually use my spurs, and I actually go more towards using the side of my leg before I use before using the side of my foot, before I use the heel of my foot to avoid spurring her unless I have to. And even then, I try to go as light as I can. But I hosed her off after a ride. She didn't get that sweaty, but, she just appreciates getting hosed. And I, of course, sweat scraped her. But here's just everything in our tack trunk. My mom did a very, very great job packing it. So, yeah. And then everything that we took out of the tack trunk that's normally in there, like Buster's brushes, some of the other brushes, some other things for like Buster, and then just some things we didn't want to bring to State Fair, we put in the tack trunk in front of Buster's stall. So we have our tack cabinet, and then we have our 2 tack trunks and then a saddle rack in the tack room. We were only going to use the tack cabinet and then our 2 saddle racks in the tack room, but then they wound up throwing in the extra tack boxes for us because they're nice. And then I forgot 2 bags of grain, so we had to use